Well, tonight is the election convention in North Belfast for Westminister. Gerry Kelly has been nominated by the Coley Cantor. There has been no other nominations. I've known Gerry Kelly for a long, long time. I got out of jail in 1993. Gerry was a seasoned activist at that stage, and I suppose soon after he went to North Belfast, and from then he's made such a big difference. North Belfast is synonymous with lots of things. We've more interfaces in this part of the city than any other town or village or even city across the length and breadth of this island. We've had many challenges, particularly around social housing. We've had lots of challenges, particularly around suicide. And all those challenges have been met with political activism as best possible, working with people, working with them around their needs. And Gerry Kelly's at the centre of that. We've got a candidate who has got the calibre, the capability, the knowledge, the wherewithal and the respect to take that seat. The Westminster seat, the last time it was a couple of thousand votes short. It's really, really important that a Republican, a nationalist, takes a seat in North Belfast, because if we can do it in North Belfast, it can be done anywhere. And if all the people who are on the electoral register who said they'll vote for Sinn Féin vote in 2015, then we're getting Gerry Kelly in this seat for North Belfast.
Well, I'm honoured and delighted to be selected tonight to run for North Belfast in the upcoming Westminster election. It's not the first time we've run, but I think the circumstances this time are much more clear. This is an issue of leadership, it's an issue of representing everybody. We have had unionists in North Belfast for a very long time. They haven't shown leadership. You can see over the last number of days they are succumbing to cuts, Tory cuts. They are accepting the Tory line. I think in a way this election could be a referendum on that. Yet if they were sensible, if they thought about it, as part of the executive, if they joined with us, they represent working class people, we represent working class people. We should all be on the same hymn sheet. The only thing that I can say is if I'm elected, certainly it will be on the basis of fighting these Tory cuts. We want to help the vulnerable, that's what we're elected for. Activism is about change, and if you resist change, and I think unionists do that, then they are not activists at all. Our whole circumstance has been to make things better for people. That's why we believe in a united Ireland, that's why we want to be elected representatives, and I think we've proven in our track record as ministers and as elected representatives, both in councils and even in the old councils when we were in charge, where we had a majority in some of the councils, we made sure that the unionists on those councils, if for instance they had 20%, then would have committee chairs. We would operate the hunt even though the hunt didn't even exist at the time, whereas unionists on the other hand, where they have a position that they don't have to share power with their nationalist and Republican colleagues, they don't do it. That is not our vision of where we should be. We fought in the new councils to make sure that everybody was represented. In my office, as a standing MLA, along with Carol Killen, anybody is welcome in our office, and indeed many unionists have actually come to our office asking for help, and we have given that help. That's what politics is about. You go to the election, you present your case, people know my background, they know I'm a Republican, but if it comes down to everyday issues, we will represent everybody that there is. We will continue to do that, and as an MP, and I think the demographics have changed. We came very close the last time in 2010. We have not only the possibility, but I think the probability of taking this seat. If we can convince nationalists who didn't vote the last time to come out and vote this time, then the seat will be a nationalist seat. But I emphasise, it being a Republican MP means that you represent all the people. It means that you don't care what their politics, their colour, creed or sex is. The most vulnerable in our society deserve, that's what the electors for, and they deserve for us to represent them, and that's what we will do.
Well, it's fantastic to be here in North Belfast. The area has clearly selected Gerry Kelly as a candidate to go forward for the Westminster election. Fantastic buzz in the room. The activists are absolutely up for the challenge. I think it's very clear that the activists know the job that we have to do over the next 8 months. We very clearly have a project to go out and win this seat, and I think that people are up for that challenge. For us, this campaign is very much going to be on the back of the Tory cuts, and I think that this is something that we're very clear that we're going to stand up for the most vulnerable in society. This is a campaign that we should clearly run on, and I look forward to the challenge. I'm working with Gerry in the time ahead. Sinn Féin have had a fantastic year in terms of electoral success. Earlier this year in May, almost 500,000 people came out and voted for Sinn Féin. So that very clearly signifies a confidence in Sinn Féin's policies, a confidence in Sinn Féin's progressive politics, and also it obviously clearly says that people are anti-austerity and very much like Sinn Féin's stance on that. So this campaign is going to be fought on that basis. I know the people of North Belfast are going to come out. The people of North Belfast can clearly see how, down through the many years of difficult challenges in this area, that Sinn Féin have continued to represent them. They have stood up for the most vulnerable and will continue to do so in the time ahead. I have every faith and confidence in Gerry Kelly as a candidate. He's a fantastic choice for the area, and I know he'll work very hard for all of the people right across North Belfast, not just a few.